Give you a live look here over the downtown skyline there, which we notice is clear.
Yes.
And you say that's also why we're cold.
Yes, we are chilly out there this morning, but I think later this afternoon we should get to the 60s. Okay. That's way better than what it was yesterday.
Yeah, and maybe sunnier than yesterday too with all the clouds that we had. Can we hope for that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think overall you're going to like your Thursday.
Okay.
Today. Just got a little bit of rain to talk about every once in a while.
Of course we do.
All right. And you also have some really cool information for us this morning about last week's hurricanes.
Yes, with the severe weather that we had and the tornadoes, the National Weather Service has confirmed one more tornado there in New Albany. So from a statewide perspective, we are now at least 20 tornadoes in that single night. Remember last Wednesday? Maybe try to put it out of your memory because it was an active one. We all got rain and thunderstorms and wind, but specifically we had that tough circulation that just went across the entire state and dropped multiple tornadoes. But the new one coming in from the National Weather Service in Louisville, there puts right at New Albany with an EF1 tornado. We've had 42 tornadoes so far this year. We haven't even reached peak season yet. And on average, we get about 25. So here in just one day, we got close to what we would normally get in an entire year. It's been an active start, but the good news is that any severe weather chances we have for the next 10 days are really, really low, including today. For the southern half of Indiana, we could get a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. There is a severe risk. It's a level 1 out of 5, so it's the lowest. But I think many of us from Indy to the north may stay on the drier side. Right now, everything's kind of damp after some scattered showers hit us throughout the overnight hours. It's cool out there. Julie was just talking about it. We're in the 30s and 40s. But we're going to be a lot warmer than things were yesterday. We're going to have more sunshine than yesterday. We just have to watch out for a few pop-up storms. It's this system, and I think most of the storms will be just south and west of Bloomington coming up. I'm going to show you some of those rain zones. In the meantime, let's talk about traffic this morning. A couple of updates just around the area. We've got some flooding updates. We've got some updates here on some repairs being made across the state that we want to get to. But at least what you need to know is that it's not going to be actively raining as you're headed out the door. But we do have a lot of road water just kind of sitting there, kind of ponding after some of the scattered showers last night. Few updates. We remain closed there in Greenfield, I-70 West to hop onto State Street or State Road 9. And then from State Road 9 to hop back on I-70 West. That remains closed as they're doing some repairs there. And then some good news. I feel like we don't always have some good news. There towards downtown Indianapolis. This is Greenfield. But I want to take you to downtown Indianapolis where from West Street and Capitol Ave, those two on-ramps to get onto I-70 West, we've had some repairs for a few days. Those are scheduled, Julia, to open up at 3 p.m. That's going to help things out downtown.
All right, thank you. And this morning we are getting you caught up on some breaking news we've been following for a couple of hours now.
Right now, 2 people are in the hospital after an early morning shooting on the city's west side. Let's take you to what the area looks like now. This was around 3 a.m. though that this shooting happened on North Addison near West Washington and Warman. Police were called to this area after someone reported someone being shot, and that's where investigators found a man and a woman there at the scene. Both were rushed to the hospital. At last check, that man was in critical condition.
Investigators tell us they believe some kind of argument between neighbors is what started this.
Time and time again, one of the things that I try to tell people is you're resorting to violence, you have no idea where those rounds are going. And obviously there's houses around here and we don't want any innocent people. We don't want anybody shot for that matter. But what's even worse is when somebody that's not involved, most likely a young child, gets hurt.
Police say it's not the first time that they have responded to this area for a disturbance, but investigators said they were working through a language barrier while on the scene. So as we learn more information from IMPD, we'll share it here with you on 13 Sunrise.
6:04, and right now we're also reaching out to investigators to find out if they have any new leads after a shooting on the city's east side.
We've learned that one man is in critical condition there. This was the scene last night on Temple Avenue near New York and Rural. That's where police tell us that a man was walking down the middle of the street when someone started following him, and then witnesses told us they heard a shooting shortly after.
Yeah, investigators believe the gunman actually targeted this man. We are trying to find out if officers have identified a possible suspect.
In just a few hours, the woman who pleaded guilty to killing 2 people in 2 separate crashes will be sentenced. In May of 2022, prosecutors say Kelly Anderson hit and killed Dr. Brian Dillman while he was walking on the sidewalk. Less than a month later, prosecutors say Anderson killed Kiana Burns after she crashed into her driving 70 miles an hour. Now, before the crashes, doctors allegedly told Anderson to see a neurologist and that she shouldn't be behind the wheel for 6 months. Prosecutors are seeking at least 3 years of prison time in this case.
New this morning, there are new developments in identifying the victims of suspected Indiana serial killer Herb Baumeister.
Now, Hamilton County is collaborating with the forensic lab in another state. Anna Chalker joins us this morning and talks about how this will speed up the process and provide some closure. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, ladies. So this team is out of Fort Worth, Texas, and they reached out to Hamilton County after hearing about this case. So in the next few weeks, the Center for Human Identification will provide DNA testing and forensic genetic genealogy to supplement the work already done by Indiana State Police. The goal is to take the thousands of bone fragments found on Baumeister's Westfield property and trace back to who they belong to. And Hamilton County Coroner Jeff Jellison says more people working on this is essential due to how large this case is.
It takes many, many resources to conduct an investigation of this size. And it's now time that we bring that team together, we add additional team members, and we treat this investigation for what it is. We have a large number of people that were victims in a homicide. We have to respect that.
Now, a grant is paying for the lab work in Texas, so no tax dollars will be used for this. And the coroner is also bringing in a mental health professional to help families when their loved ones are identified. And ladies, this team out of Texas, they've worked on thousands of cases involving unidentified remains. So at 6:30, we'll kind of take a deeper look into a case that's really big for them and why they wanted to get closer in on this case here in Hamilton County.
All right, thank you, Anna. We'll see you then.
Well, this morning we're looking into more of those phone calls Richard Allen made from prison.
And now we're getting some legal insight into how those calls were critical in the case. So during those calls, Allen apparently confessed to killing Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi in 2017. Last December, he was sentenced for their murders to 130 years in prison.
Why would you say that?
Because maybe I did.
No, you didn't, dear.
I think I did.
No, you didn't.
That is sound and transcript between Richard Allen and his wife Kathy in April of 2023. That audio was played in court for the jury before the panel convicted Allen of murdering Abby Williams and Libby German. Allen's attorneys say that their client did not confess voluntarily, and they blame his mental health struggles and mistreatment in the prison he was held in.
Defense attorney Brad Banks, who is not connected to this case, says it would be hard for a jury to look past this kind of evidence.
There's a lot of science out there about false confessions and the psychology behind them, but it's just a piece of evidence that's extremely difficult for a jury to look past. It just is.
In one of the calls, Allen tells his wife that he feels like he's lost his mind. In another one, Allen's mother tells him that she knows he's not in a good place. Now, Allen's attorneys are appealing his conviction and his sentence. And right now you can watch more than 3 hours of that newly released phone call video and police interrogation video with Richard Allen for yourself, as it is all streaming on demand on WTHR Plus. You can download this app, it is free, and then watch it on your TV.
Well, this morning, the proposed property tax plan is on the verge of a final vote. Governor Braun says this will mean historic relief for Hoosiers. So we're talking about Senate Bill 1. Dozens of amendments were added onto this bill, but only one passed. The Capitol Chronicle reporting that under the amendment, 2/3 of homeowners will pay less in 2026 than in 2025. This bill also cuts property taxes on rental properties and farms. The idea here really is to tamp down on local debt, allowing local communities to raise more income taxes. The bill also forces public schools to share referendum money with charter schools. Also in this bill, disabled veterans would get up to $250 in credit to go towards their property tax bill. So today, the House is set to have a third reading on this bill. We'll, of course, keep you posted. Well, 1 week ago, Indiana was being beaten up by tornadoes and strong storms. So now we're getting to look at the efforts really to deal with the aftermath.
We have some drone video to show you. Drone Cam 13 gives us just a glimpse of the aerial view of crews fixing the Surlatop warehouse that partially collapsed last Wednesday in Brownsburg. A woman had to be rescued from this wreckage. It was an EF2 tornado that also hit homes in the Branches neighborhood. One man named William Reed and his family tells us that he found safety in the basement.
As I'm looking at my security camera, that's when I kind of see him like, man, it must be hailing outside. And as I kind of kept looking, I'm like, no, that's not hail, that's my insulation. And at that point, when I realized the insulation was all over the house of my security camera,
Yeah, you watch that in real time. That's pretty upsetting. Now, Reed also said, you can see here, the roof was taken off and had some damage because of the high winds and powerful rain. And he knows that he has a lot of work ahead of him.